Hi, it's Grant Abbott, and I'm Chairman of the Australian SMSF Members Association, and many of us hate the word death. It's a terrible thing, and we obviously, being in these little mortal bodies, we really get concerned about when we're going to pass away. One of the things though, that when I go out and do talks for mums and dads or across Australia, one of the things I say to them is, look, it's really important to plan for your death. Now obviously you've got to work out, are you going to do an SMSF will or binding death benefit nomination, but more importantly to leave a legacy. Now when I mean to leave a legacy, it's not simply what the kids are going to get or my spouse is going to get or the estate's going to be distributed to kids, to everyone. What it is through a very simple mechanism inside the super fund, we can save for a rainy day or save for your death or any of the members' death for that matter by putting the money away in what we call a reserve. The technical term of it is a anti-detriment reserve, because essentially over time, if you've got money in super, if your employer's been paying SGC or get tax deductions over time, the government's actually been ripping out 15% from that superannuation. Now what happens is if you pass away and if you manage that mechanism right, you effectively get all the tax paid back plus more. That really the super you're paying out or your trustee of the fund's paying out to your family, your spouse or your legal estate is a lot lower than it would have been if the government hadn't been taking out this 15% on your SGC and tax deductible contributions. So with a simple mechanism, and make sure you have a chat with your advisor around this, simple mechanism built inside your fund, you save up for it, that when you pass away, your family will get this additional benefit, taking your death benefits back to where they would have been if you hadn't paid any contributions tax. I hope you're with me for most of this part. Watch it a couple of times if you're not. But the beauty about it, for example, that if we get to pay out $100,000 for that matter, because your benefits have actually been reduced to that extent, then when it's paid out, the fund itself will get a $600,000 tax deduction. From $100,000 additional benefit that your family's going to love anyway, the fund gets an additional $600,000 tax deduction. Now you might say, well, hold on, I'm dead, what's the benefit to me? And it's of absolutely no benefit to you. But for your children coming through in your self-managed, or what we like to talk about, your family superannuation fund, your children coming through from that, that's really important, because it means that fund is going to be tax-free for not just years, but for decades to come. More importantly, they're not going to have to pay that contributions tax that you really were detrimentally affected by in the first place. This anti-detriment benefit impact, or setting yourself or your clients up for really leaving a legacy, is crucial. Make sure you knock on your advisor's door and get it set up. It's not an expensive process, but it will allow you to leave a legacy for generations to come. And why wouldn't you do that?